Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, once again, I thank you for joining this 18 days Bhagavad Gita class. We are excited to have you with us on this most enlightening journey. So, before we begin this class, let's start with a small prayer. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gnananjanaksalakaya Chakshur Anmilitam Ena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pastati Sutarini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So once again, I welcome all of you. So today we are heading towards a very important chapter, that is chapter 7, knowledge of absolute. So in the last 6 days, we covered Bhakti Yoga, and now we are heading towards the 7th chapter. Okay, so this is what we're going to speak today. Knowledge through inquiry. Those who come to Krishna and not come to Krishna, worship of demigod, who can become a devotee. So this chapter has almost 30 slokas. So before we embark into this chapter, we thank Srila Prabhupada because of his kind mercy, grace on us. We could see that one man from the great land of India, born in Bharatvarsha in Calcutta, at the age of 70, in just a short span of 11 years, 14 times he circled the globe, and he built more than 108 temples. What was impossible, he made it possible. He made a revolution at the age of 70. So today we are embarking towards chapter 7, knowledge of absolute. So let us do a quick review of the early chapters, because today's chapter is very, very important, because from Karma Yoga now we are just heading towards the Bhakti Yoga, right? So Gita has 3 divisions in 18 slokas, 18 chapters. The first 6 chapters talks about Karma Yoga, then the middle 6 chapters talks about Bhakti Yoga, and the last 6 chapters talks about Jnana Yoga. So today we are heading towards the Bhakti Yoga. So I'm going to do a quick review of the last 6 days, what we have discussed till now. Okay, so chapter 1, we discussed how Arjuna was confused and he was very weak because he was not willing to fight. And then we saw in chapter 2, Arjuna surrendered to Krishna, and that is where Krishna started speaking about the knowledge of Atma, that we are not this body, we are soul. And then in chapter 3, we discussed why the soul suffers because of actions, karma. So Krishna thought about the karma yoga, doing duty properly, right? Then we went to chapter 4. That is, if we do good actions, that's punya karma, we'll go to Swargaloka. If we do papa karma, bad karma, we'll go to, what do you say? Just one moment, I'll just mute everybody. Okay, yeah. So when you do bad sins, then what happens? We go to the hellish planet. But in both the cases, once the punishment, once the your quota is done, again you have to take birth. But then we say something more. What is that? Akarma. All right. So we said that somebody does bhakti, without selfish, that's called akarma. So we can go back to God. We need to come back again this material world. Then we spoke about chapter 5. How do we do our duty without being attached to the result? So we spoke about the lotus leaf, not affected by the water. Then that's why Sri Krishna tells us that we should train our mind. We have to train our mind in such a way that it becomes our good friend, so that we can succeed in spiritual life, or else it can be a good friend or bad enemy. If it's bad enemy, then you're gonna suffer, right? Then we spoke about chapter 6, that was yesterday, how to control the mind and how to focus, through meditation. We spoke about the dhyana yoga. Remember we spoke about the 8 asanas, asana, dharana, you know, pranayama. Then last we went till samadhi, right? So there also Krishna says, among all yogis, the bhakti yogi who meditates on Krishna with love and devotion, he is to be considered as the highest. So ultimately, Krishna declares that he is the highest yogi. And today, in chapter 7, it's titled as Knowledge of Absolute, we'll mainly discuss about 4 parts, which is divided here, which has 30 slokas. So if you see, the first division is called knowledge through enquiry. And then we have the second division, those who come to Krishna and those who don't come to Krishna. All right. Then the third, we have worship of devatas, demigods. The last is who all can become a devotee. Can you become a devotee? Can I become a devotee? Who all can become a devotee? So these are 3 divisions in chapter 7. It has 30 slokas. So we'll go one by one. So I appreciate all of you for being connected here. So let's start the first sloka of the 7th chapter. It says, Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Maya Sakta Manapartha Yogam Yunjamat Asaya Samayam Samam Mam Yatha Nyayasya Tatshino. The Supreme Personality of God had said, now here, O son of Partha, how by practicing yoga in full consciousness of me, with mind attached to me, you can know me in full, free from doubts. So Krishna, the Supreme Lord, he's saying that now listen, O Arjuna. See, in the last chapter, especially verse 47, now he said that Bhakti Yoga is the best. Now he's telling, I will explain how to do that. All right. So how do we do yoga? We focus on me. That's what Krishna says. You focus on me. That is Bhakti Yoga. So if the mind is attached to me, you can come to me completely without any doubts. And you can also learn everything from me because I will teach you Bhakti. That's what he's saying here. So now if you go to the next verse, it's very clear. It says, I shall now declare unto you in full this knowledge, both phenomenal and numinous. This being known, nothing further shall remain for you to know. Oh. So Krishna says, now I will tell you everything. Full knowledge, both material and spiritual. So he's telling, I'll teach you both. The ones who knows this, nothing else is left to know. So Krishna is telling, now I'm going to explain what is material knowledge and what is spiritual knowledge. So I'll give an example. If we mix hydrogen and oxygen, what happens? We get water, H2O. So this is called material knowledge. And then what is spiritual knowledge? Spiritual knowledge means, very same thing. Where does this hydrogen comes from? Where does oxygen come from? What is the source of this both? Understanding that source is called a spiritual knowledge. Makes sense? So now today, Krishna is saying, I will teach you both, how the world works and where everything comes from me. So now I have a question for you. What kind of knowledge does Krishna is promising to teach us today? So I have a polling on the screen. So you can quickly tell me what is your understanding, okay? Yeah. Krishna is telling, what kind of knowledge does Krishna promise to teach us today? Oh, yeah, both material and spiritual knowledge. Yes, that is right. Okay, let's end the poll because we will make it a little faster. Okay. Now, I would request all of you to make some notes because this is something which you have not heard before. So here, Krishna is telling there are 2 ways of gaining knowledge. 2 ways. One is called ascending order, one is called descending order. In Sanskrit, they say Aroha Panta and Avaroha Panta. So to gain knowledge, these 2 things is required: ascending order, descending order. That is Aroha Panta and Avaroha Panta. And for both, you need to have faith. Now, in Aroha Panta, we have 2 things to understand. One is Pratyaksha Pramana, one is Anumana Pramana. Okay. Now, in Pratyaksha Pramana, what does it mean? It means seeing as believing. What we see, what we believe, that's what it's called Pratyaksha Pramana. Then we have Anumana Pramana. Just guessing, like what is happening behind my wall, I don't know. So I'm guessing, right? That's called, Anumana Pramana. So now, both this is imperfect. How do we understand that? Just like in a glass, if I put a spoon, we say seeing is believing, right? So the spoon looks bent, but is it bent? Is it straight? We're seeing, seeing is believing, but it's bent. That means our senses are imperfect. Sometimes you see in the hot summer, you are driving a bike, you see there is a water. You see, but there's no water. There is a mirage. That means you're seeing there's a water, but there's no water. That means it's a imperfect senses. So there are four defects. We all have four defects. One is we make mistakes. We are sometimes in illusion. I'll explain this next slide. Then imperfect senses. Then we cheat. I'll explain how does it work. So just understand two things. In ascending order, that's Aroha Pantha, Pratyaksha Pramana and Anumana Pramana. They are both fall into imperfect senses. So when we have imperfect senses, you tell me how is it possible to know somebody is unlimited? In the limited senses, how can know about unlimited senses, unlimited one, right? So that's what I'm trying to say. Now let's go to in both the case we need to have a faith, right? Now what's the other one I said? Avaroha Pantha. Now in Avaroha Pantha, it's called Shabda Pramana. What's called Shabda Pramana? So we spoke about three things. Okay, Pratyaksha Pramana, Anumana Pramana, and Shabda Pramana. This Pratyaksha Pramana and Anumana Pramana comes in the Aroha Pantha. Okay, ascending order. And then this Shabda Pramana, it comes in the Avaroha Pantha. Now in both the case, we need to have a faith. So, but in the first two, that is Pratyaksha and Anumana, that is in Aroha Pantha, the senses are very imperfect. So we cannot say that is correct, But the same thing when it comes to Avaroha Pantha, where we have Shabda Pramana, then that is coming from authority, especially scriptures. So that is more reliable because it comes from a perfect source like God and Guru. So I think this is very clear. I'll give you an example. Like we all heard that maybe even in school days also we have heard that we all came from monkeys, and we also gave exam also, because we had that faith, for on whom teachers, syllabus, and the government. That's why we gave exam. We also passed, right? And also we have this thought that Neil Armstrong, he went to the moon, and though he has not gone, still we believe. Why? Because we trust the source, right? So see, in this case, we have a faith, but then it is imperfect, right? But when it comes to Shabda Pramana, it's very clear. It's to the sound vibration. It's coming from a guru, scriptures. So I'll make you understand this more clearer in the next one or two things. So just understand in Pratyaksha Pramana, what happens? There is a direct sense perception, right? Whereas in Anuman Pramana, we're just guessing, right? And when it comes to Avaroha Pantha, that is coming through knowledge, that is through scriptures, that's through Shabda Pramana. So if I ask you among Aroha and Avaroha, which is best, it's Avarohana Pantha is very best, So I will explain you how it works. Okay, just stay connected. See, to gain knowledge, three things is required. We discussed just now: Pratyaksha Pramana, Anuman Pramana, and Shabda Pramana. So Pratyaksha Pramana, it's experimental knowledge. Anuman Pramana, theory. So both are imperfect because in Anuman Pramana we're just guessing. It will be like this, it will be like that. Now, can you tell me what's happening behind the wall? You may say somebody is sleeping, somebody is reading, but when you go there, no one will be there. That means we're just guessing, speculating. That is not correct. Then Pratyaksha Pramana, I told you, in the hot summer, somebody is traveling. They think, there is some water, but there is no water. Right? So that is also incorrect. Right? So then, the senses are imperfect. But when it comes to Shabda Pramana, it's something like we're hearing from the authorities, right? So that's what, very important. So this Aroha Pantha, that is Pratyaksha Pramana, Anuman Pramana, it's an ascending order. It's going up by our own efforts. Okay. Whereas in Shabda Pramana, knowledge comes down to us. Okay. Just understand this theory part, Once we start giving examples, it will be easy for you to understand. Okay. Now, look at this screen. Story of a sixth blind man. Take a snapshot if possible. Okay, So I'll tell you what is Shabda Pramana. See, now we may wonder that if both Pratyaksha and Anumana Pramana, you think it's defective, you think it's imperfect senses, how we know the real truth? Maybe the question may come that even Shabda Pramana also can be defective, right? You may say that, but what I want to say that's a question it's a genuine question, but The fact is that Shabda Pramana, hearing from a bona fide authority. Now, some people may say, just like protection Anumana, this also may be defective. How do I believe? See, according to Shabda Pramana, we understand that with the defective senses, we cannot acquire knowledge. Correct? According to Shabda Pramana, we understand that when we have defective senses, we cannot acquire full knowledge because, in a complete truth. Why? Because the only way is that hearing from a person who has seen the truth, and that is how it comes. That's called Shabda Pramana. I'll give you an example. Look at this chart. So this is a story of 6 blind men. So they were 6 blind men, who have not seen elephant till now in their life. So they saw an elephant, and everybody has started, somebody is catching the trunk, thinking it's a snake. Somebody is catching the ears of elephant, thinking it's like a fan. Somebody is catching the leg of elephant, thinking it's a stem of the tree. Somebody is touching the body of elephant, thinking it's a wall. So everybody are speculating because they've not seen elephant, right? Thinking this is, and they're all blind. So let's say one Brahmana is just walking around, and he explains that that very clear. He says that this is not what you are saying. This is an elephant. How does elephant look like? He says now how does elephant look like? Because I've not seen. Now your Brahmana is explaining. Because if a wise, he could see. Because he could see, he can explain what the whole elephant actually looks like. So by hearing from him, the blind man could understand, oh, okay, this is a complete picture of a elephant. So what moral we're trying to say here, that no, we may have some kind of a partial knowledge about God from our limited experience, like this blind man. But if we hear from the realized person or scriptures like Bhagavad Gita, then we can understand the complete truth about God clearly. So now I have a question. Now, what does the story of the blind man and elephant teaches us? Okay, so you can answer from your understanding. Okay, we'll just go back here. Yes. So what does the story of a blind man and elephant teaches us? Yeah, truth is about known by hearing from one who sees it. Somebody has seen it, he can tell it. No guesswork, by guessing we will not come to a conclusion. Okay, the result is answer is C. Okay, I'll stop sharing this. Okay, good. Now, as I was discussing earlier, that we all have our senses are very limited, because we make mistake, we are illusion, we are we have imperfect senses, we also cheat others. Now I'll tell you how does it work. Just imagine that you're walking in the night. It's dark. You saw some rope. Tongue, it's a snake, but early morning you came to know it is a rope. That means you were illusion. All right. Sometimes we make mistake. How many of you agree we make mistake? All of us, right? And I also told about imperfect senses. Our senses are not perfect, right? So we gave an example of that water, glass of water. You put a spoon, it looks bent, but when you remove, it's not bent. It is a straight. So what I want to share is that science is definitely very useful for us. So but how we understand this one? See, with a limited capacity, it's very difficult to understand something unlimited, like God or the universe. That's why we can't just do it fully with our own effort. Of course, science plays a very important role. It's very useful, but even science also has a limit. You're saying science has a limit. How does you prove this? I'll tell you. Let's say there's a murder case. I'm just giving an example. Now, in a murder case, what happens? A doctor does a post-mortem, right? But when he does a post-mortem, he can tell few things. What is that? What kind of a weapon was used to kill him, right? And he can also tell you at what time the person died. Then you can also say which organ was damaged. These 3 things you can say. But a doctor cannot tell that who was the killer, then why he was killed. These things you cannot answer. So who can answer these things? They have a different department called investigation department. They can tell us. Similarly, science can tell us how things work, but not who created, why it exists, or what is the real purpose of life, so what we do. So all these kind of questions now, science cannot answer. So we need a complete knowledge, and that comes from a going to authority. That is through Shabda Pramana, authority through scriptures, That's why I'm telling you that Avaroha Pantha is more complete, trustworthy than the Aroha Pantha. Aroha Pantha is what? Pratyaksha Pramana and Anumana Pramana. It's a guesswork, it's a speculation, So, and it's not perfect, You're seeing, but still it's not perfect, seeing and believing. But in the case of Shabda Pramana, it is very bona fide. Just an example, you're taking rest, you're in deep sleep, and somebody wakes you up, still you're not able to wake up because you're in sleep. But somebody says, hey, snake has come, hey, look at this, who has come, they'll scream. Then, hey, what happened, you say. So Shabda Pramana, the sound vibration, has a strong impact. That's why I'm telling you that our knowledge is limited, So my question is, why is our knowledge limited? So I have this question for you quickly. Let me answer. Let me know what's the answer for this. Okay. Yeah. So why do you think our knowledge is limited? Because we don't read enough books, or is it because we make mistakes and imperfect senses? Or yeah, that's right. We make mistakes and have imperfect senses. That is the right answer. Perfect. Okay, I'll stop sharing. Okay, good. Okay. So now look at this. This is called Avaroha Pantha. Aroha Pantha we discussed. We're speaking about Avaroha Pantha, Shabda Pramana, receiving knowledge from the authority. Faith is needed, both in spiritual and in the material also. So here, I want to give an example. Say, just like we have a faith in spiritual and material, very important to know that it should come from scriptures, acharyas, There are some devotees also who have realized God, This is called Avaroha Pantha, because Shabda Pramana, right? I'll give an example. How many of you have been to Pandharpur, Maharashtra, where you see there's of Lord Vittalji is there, Panduranga. So I've been many times there. So I heard one past time, that there was one Mataji, a devotee. She used to go to Pandharpur, and she's very old Mataji, and she takes darshan of Panduranga every year. Almost she has completed 60 years from now, from past 60 years, every day she's going. Somebody asked her, see, you're going from so many years. Have you seen Panduranga? He said, no. I said, no, you have not seen Panduranga. Then why you are going every year to take darshan of Panduranga? Then this old lady, she said, see, in our community also, if any thief comes, one dog starts barking. When the first dog starts barking, then what happens? All the dogs start barking. All right. So similarly, in Maharashtra, Pandharpur, when this great, saints like Gnanadev and Tukaram, they saw Panduranga and they have faith. Why shouldn't I trust them? Because they are pure souls. So I have faith in them. This was a reply given by this Mataji, So it's very amazing, And that's why what I meant to say here is that God is like a father. Scriptures is like a mother, right? So if you want to know who's your father, you should ask the mother, scripture. So that's why Krishna is infallible. He speaks truth in Bhagavad Gita, That's why it said that, the word infallible means never goes wrong, is always perfect. That's why in Bhagavad Gita, one of the name of a Krishna is called Achyuta, which means infallible, because he never fails in promising, never forgets, and is always perfect in knowledge and action. So now my question for you, what kind of faith should encourage us in spiritual life? That's my question for you. So I'll give you an option. Please answer me according to your understanding. Okay. Oh, there's a mosquito here. Yes. Faith in trusted source like Shastra and Sins. Yeah, that's the right answer. Okay, that's the right answer. Okay, fine. I'll stop sharing. Okay, good. Fantastic. Now, here comes a big U-turn in our session today, because the Lord and his devotees are free from all limitations. Now, why we follow Lord Krishna? See, we say that now, why should we follow Lord Krishna? There are so many gods. So why only you people say Krishna, Krishna, Krishna? And also, people have this misunderstanding. Many people even challenge our faith also. They ask, why do you follow Krishna? He is a liar. He married 16,108 wives. Is it proper? Now, let's understand this step by step with logic and faith, because such kind of questions many people ask. Now, when it comes to argument about, Krishna's marriage, once I was traveling in the train, so one Muslim fellow, from a different religion, he asked me, why are you wearing tilak? Why do you follow this Krishna? He has so many wives. So I asked him, how do you know that Krishna has many wives? He said, I heard that he's written in Puranas. So I asked, okay, that means do you believe in Puranas? He said, no, 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 I don't believe in Puranas. Then I said, see, you said you don't believe in Puranas, then how come you criticize Krishna based on them? Either you accept the Puranas, scriptures fully, or just ignore it, And then he also got the answer, then he stopped arguing me. Then he just kept quiet. So we have this kind of challenges, right? Krishna, see, Krishna's marriage were very divine. It's not ordinary. Why? Because see, we all know that Krishna married 16,108 wives. But why he married? We all know that? See, actually, in the previous incarnation as Lord Rama, many sages in the forest, Dandakaranya, they saw Lord's divine form and they decided that they want to serve Lord Rama as a wife. But Lord Ram, being Maryada Purush, is the Eka Patni Vrata he has taken, right? So he said, this life is only for Mother Sita. Then he promised, don't worry, I'll fulfill your wishes in my next incarnation. That's why in Dwapara Yuga, Lord comes as Lord Krishna. So we can see in Krishna's times, all these sages, they were like a princess. That's why we could see that actually there's a story why he married 16,000 wives. Actually, we can see that all these ladies, they have been captured by this Rakshasa, Narkasura. And when Krishna defeated this demon, Rakshasa, he was rescued actually, But actually in the culture, see, in Indian culture, we have that, one, no one could marry a girl who had left, who had lived in another man's house, for one day. So because now they have no shelter. So Krishna said, don't worry, I will protect you, I will marry you. And that's why Krishna expanded himself into 16,108 forms and married all of them at once. So we could see, he also lived with them personally. When Narada Muni went to Dwaraka, such a huge, magnificent palace, So he went to every house you could find Krishna with the queen. So that's why he's not an ordinary man like you and me. So this proves that Krishna is Bhagwan, is God. Only God can do such things. Even people, they struggle to maintain one or two wives, Just imagine Krishna is maintaining 16,000 families. That's why we should not criticize without having faith or a proper understanding. People often say, no, they know scriptures partially, without having full faith in knowledge. They accept only what is best for them, and remaining, they reject the rest. That's not fair, right? So to understand Krishna, his action, we first hear from the right source. That's why I told you a couple of days back, parampara. You remember I told them disciplic succession, not from any random source like, Facebook, whatever, internet, So all these things will not give you a clear, because only it will give you confusion. And also we have seen that this question comes, why did Rama ask Sita to enter into fire? We have this question also, right? Many people ask this question. Actually, Rama told his wife, get into fire. You may think it's very cruel, but I want to give you an analogy. Just like you say, there's a rented house, husband and wife used to stay. So one day, what happened? Husband went out, and wife, she's supposed to turn on the motor, the water, So she turned on, but she has to supposed to stop after some time. But she forgot. She went in deep sleep, and because of that, now the water is flowing. First of all, this thing in a rented house. The owner came to know that, how come, somebody have turned on the water, don't they know this, don't they know this, they're supposed to put off the motor off, because too much of water is going in waste. So the owner, the public, everybody came, started, building a big crowd, and they want to chastise, scream, scold, shout on these people, That time, when the husband comes to know, he also comes, he also knocks the door. When the wife opens, front of public, the husband starts scolding the wife so badly that everybody said, why he's scolding so much, for the small thing, and they all left. And then he closed the door and he said to his wife, do you know why I scolded like this to you? If I'm not scolded like this to you, then the people may scold you. So similarly, we can see Lord Rama, he asked Sita to go to fire, not out of anger, but to protect her honor in front of a public. Because he's who is he? He's a Purushottama, a perfect man who does everything for the benefit of his devotees, not for himself. So this is also one thing which I want to make you understand. And finally, we should all have faith in the Lord and scriptures. Why? Because we don't have faith in our own Lord, then who will we follow? So what I'm going to say is everything depends upon a proper understanding from an authorized source, Shabda Pramana from Guru, Shastra, and the Parampara. Only then we can understand, that Lord's action, and we also develop faith on the Lord. So what I want to conclude here is that, Krishna is beyond our limits, right? Because Krishna is not a ordinary person like us. He's all powerful, he's beyond all faults. He's always pure, working only for the good of devotees. So we must hear from the right source so that we can truly understand and follow him. So my question for you is, if somebody asks you, why did Krishna marry 16,108 wives? If somebody asks you, what will be your answer? Okay, I'll just put this question on the polling, and genuinely you reply me, what will be your reply? Okay, if somebody asking you, why did Krishna marry 16,000 wives? What will be your answer? Okay, to fulfill the wishes of the sages, yeah, and give shelter of the helpless princess. This is the right answer. Not because I want to show I'm very powerful. Okay, good. Thank you. I'll share the results. Stop sharing. Okay, good. Fine. Now here comes. I said you that we need to have faith both in ascending and descending order. That is Aroha Panta and Avaroha Panta. All right. That is Pratyaksha, Anumana, and Shabda Praman. We should have faith. I said. Now many of us believe in Darwin's theory. What is Darwin's theory? Darwin's theory means we all came from monkeys, from apes. Now tell me honestly, how many of you on the Zoom of who are hearing this class, how many of you came from monkeys? Can you ping me up? Nobody came from monkeys. We all came from our parents, right? Same thing, the moon landing, Neil Armstrong, they said he walked on the moon. Not because we saw it, but we trusted the sources, from the books, from the teachers, from the media. But later, even scientists, they have challenged about Darwin's theory, saying there is no clear fossil evidence showing one species turning into another. So it's called a theory, not a proven fact. So similarly, many experts and researchers have raised doubts about this moon landing. Like a very strange lightning in the photos you can see, no stars in the sky, and the flag is moving. It shouldn't be moving. It shouldn't happen because there's thought air how the flag will move, right? So just as faith is needed, even in the science, we should carefully know where to put our faith. So better place to put our faith is on a timeless spiritual wisdom. That is what? That is Bhagavad Gita, which doesn't change or get disproved over time. So my question for you is, what is the key message about faith from our discussion? Because we all should have faith. So what should be the key message about faith in discussion? I'll put the question on the polling, and I'll give you a couple of options. So you can decide and let me know what is the right answer. What is the key message about faith from discussion? Science always gives complete truth. Faith is needed only in religion. Faith is needed in both science and spirituality. Wow, that's the right answer. Faith is needed in both science and spirituality. Yes, that's a correct answer. Okay, I'll stop sharing. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, now, very interestingly, we could see that it says, Manushanam sahasresu kaschit etta siddhaye tatam api siddhanam tashtim mam vidit tataha. Out of many thousands among men, one may endeavor for perfection. And of those who have achieved perfection, hardly one knows to me the truth. So among thousands, few seek truth. And among the perfected, rare one who truly knows Krishna. So just imagine, we have an invitation for so many people. Out of so many, just hardly 21 people attending this Zoom class. That means you are really very fortunate, right? So now let us hear about Lord Sri Krishna from wholeheartedly. What is Krishna saying? See, Krishna says there are two types of energy. One is external energy and was internal energy. Okay, now external energy means what? We have this sloka, right? Bhumirapo nalavayu kamma buddhir evacha ahankara vimudatma kartam ahankara, sorry, ahankara ityame binna prakriti astada. That means air, water, fire, sky, mind, intelligence, false ego, this all come under external energy. Okay, that's material energy. And what is the other one? Internal energy. That is what? That is the soul, like us, the living beings. So material things comes from Krishna, but they are dead. Living beings come from Krishna, that is alive. So now I'm talking to you, I'm alive, right? So I come from Krishna, you come from Krishna, So that's what I'm doing. Krishna is the source of both. That is his power. All right. So that's why I told you yesterday, above mind is what? See, the senses are dead matter. But above senses, what we have? We have mind. Above mind, we have intelligence. Above intelligence, we have soul. So the soul, that part is a internal energy. And apart from that soul, whatever we see, whatever we discuss, mind, buddhi, ahankar, the five panchabhutas, they are all external energy. Okay. So now, what is the what is the Krishna's higher superior energy that we understand here? That are living beings, right? So now let me check with you. I'm just going a little faster because we have a lot of things to discuss today. This is a very amazing sloka as I discussed now. Bhumiraponallavayu kamanna buddhir evacha ahankara ityam me binna prakriti asada. So Krishna says, beside the inferior nature, O Arjuna, there are superior nature of me. The living beings who are trying to explore the material nature. So just now we discussed that we are all spiritual souls, part and parcel of Krishna's energy, right? That's a higher energy. But we are all been covered by material energy and we forget them. Correct? So I'll give you conclusion in this verse. Material world means Krishna's external energy, which is temporary and dull. When it comes to living beings, that is Krishna's internal energy, that is eternal and consciousness. Next, clear? So Krishna is the source of both. So he's not bound by material energy, but he controls it. That is why he's Bhagwan. That's why he's called the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay, now look at the screen. It says, Matta Partara Nanya Kinchit Asti Dhananjaya Maya Sarvam Idam Proktam Tutre Mani Dhanavata. So imagine the necklace of pearls. Now, who holds all these pearls together? It is the invisible thread. But can you see the thread? No, we don't see the thread. So that is what I'm telling you. No, we don't see the thread. But yet, without it, the necklace will fall apart. If the thread is not there, the whole necklace will fall apart. So the thread is compared to Krishna. In the same way, all living beings and things in this universe, they're like a pearls. And Lord Krishna is that invisible thread, supporting and holding everything together. So what I mean to explain here that though we may not see Krishna directly, everything exists because of him and depends on him, just like the pearl depends on the thread. So now I have a question. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is compared to which part of the pearl necklace here? So I'll give the polling and let's see what will be the quick reply from you. Okay, so one moment. Yeah, there we go. Yes, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is compared to which part of the pearl? The invisible thread. Yeah, just like when you all make a garland to the Lord, we don't see the thread. We only see the flower. So what is the thread? That refers to Krishna. Okay, good. Now that's what it says. Just like a thread holds together all the beads in garland, the source of everything is Lord Sri Krishna. Now, this is something different part of the discussion today. One who does not come, who comes to Krishna, who comes to Krishna, and who are those who don't come to Krishna. That we will discuss today here. Very important chapter, as I told you. Very interesting also. So why some people don't come to Krishna? It says, Namam Dushkudana Muda Prapadinte Naradamaha Maya Parthagnana Asuram Bhav Ashrita. So I'll not read the translation, I'll directly tell you the meaning of this because of lack of time, because it's a big chapter. So Krishna says that there are 4 types of people who don't surrender to Krishna. Who are they? Dushkrina, sinful people who always do wrong things. Then Mudha. Mudha means foolish people who are stuck in their routine life. Example, let's say one man just opened a shop. So every day he opens the shop, he works very hard, he repeats the same thing life after life. His son is trying, Papa, we take one day break, let's go for temple. He said, No, I don't have time. So he just keep doing working, 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 working. He doesn't care. So one day, somehow, the son takes the father to Kashi. So there he saw that a lot of people, when they die, they burn. So they use a lot of wood. So this person is telling, Beta, we have this textile business. Actually, we're supposed to have a wooden business. Why? Because we can make a lot of more money. That means this person has completely forgot the real purpose of life. So this is there in the Nasima Purana also. This is what our status. Then we have Maya Arpita Jnana. People whose knowledge has been stolen by illusion. They may be smart in politics, science, business, but what do they use? They don't believe in God. Then we have, Asuram Bhav Ashrita. These are like demonic people. They are very envious. They reject. They're like Duryodhana. They are like that. They hate and they reject God. So that is called Asuram Bhav Ashrita. Now, according to Krishna, my question for you: which type of person does not surrender to Krishna? So this is a very this question is a little tricky. Okay, so you have to really answer it with a proper understanding. Okay, I'll just put this question. Just give me one moment. Uh, yeah, I just launched the question. According to Krishna, which type of person does not surrender to him? Sinful person? No. Yeah, it is Asuram Bhav Ashrita, those who are demonic nature. See, when somebody is sinful, you know, they will become devotees if they get an opportunity. Yesterday I discussed, somebody is very sinful, still he comes and come for Krishna, Krishna will give him care. Even Bhakta means devotees, so already devotee, we will definitely come to Krishna. So it is called Asuram Bhav Ashrita, those who are demonic, very envious, those people will not come. Okay, I'll share the result. The answer is D. Okay. Okay. Now look at this sloka. It says Chaturvida Bhajante Mam Jina Sukha Arjuna Arto Arthati Jnansa Bharatashava. So why some people do come to Krishna? We just spoke about who don't come to Krishna. Now, why some people do come to Krishna? Krishna says there are 4 types of people who come to me. Who are there? Artaha. Those who are very distressed, very painful, suffering, they're looking for help. They come. Okay. Then is Arthati. You can see in the sloka it's mentioned. Artaha means those who are distressed. Then Artaharti means those who want wealth and need money. Then Jignasu, who is very curious, who want to understand the truth. And then finally we have Gnani, a wise who wants to know Krishna is everything, that knowledge, he's hankering for that. So this kind of 4 types of people, they come to Krishna. I'll give you an example. When it comes to Artha, one is distress. How we understand? You see the example in Srimad Bhagavatam, the Gajendra, the elephant. Actually, this elephant was caught by crocodile in the water. So the elephant was in great distress. Last life he was Indraduna Maharaj. So he called out the Lord with the full surrender. He wanted to offer a flower. Krishna came, Narayana came immediately and saved him. That means he was in distress, he was been saved. All right. Then we have Artharthi. Artharthi means somebody is seeking for wealth. All of us need wealth, right? Do you want wealth? All of us seeking, right? Just tell me honestly, how many of us till now have not been to Tirupati? All of us been to Tirupati. Generally, when you go to Tirupati, we go with one more intention that let my business, grow up. Balaji, give me more money. I'm not saying everyone, but this kind of a notion is there. Right? So in Srimad Bhagavatam also we have example of Dhruva Maharaj, right? So we can see this little Dhruva Maharaj, when he had actually we see that he was doing tapasya, right? So little Dhruva wanted a kingdom which is greater than his father, Uttanapad, but then he was been told that you should go perform some severe tapasya. Who told this? not Suniti, Surichi told this. If you read Bhagavatam, you'll come to know, So then we could see that the Lord not only gave him the wealth, but also gave him a spiritual realization. He was been told to rule for 36,000 years. And Krishna gifted him a Dhruva planet. We send a polar star. That's what, no? Okay, coming to Jignasu. Jignasu mentioned is a seeker of knowledge, like we could see in Bhagavatam also example, sage Shaunaka and sages at Naimisharanya. So we could see that the sages approached Suta Goswami, under the guidance of Sonaka Rishi and all the sages in the Naimisharanya. They want to know about Krishna, the truth about Krishna, life and universities. So that also means knowledge. All right. Then we have Gnani. Gnani means a wise man. So we can see the example of Sukadev Goswami. Right. So in Srimad Bhagavatam we have this very story that that all the self-realized, especially Sukadev Goswami was self-realized soul. He was absorbed in Krishna consciousness, and he spoke the whole Bhagavatam to Parikshit Maharaj in 7 days. The Ganges, 7 days of the Ganges. That also shows knowledge. So all the stories, whatever I'm trying to say, whatever at starting point, there'll be some pain, desire, curiosity, and wisdom. But Krishna welcomes all. That's what matters. So that's what I was trying to say. Finally, those in distress, they come to Krishna. Those who want wealth, they come to Krishna. Those who are curious, who want to understand the truth, by knowledge, they come to Krishna. Somebody who is very knowledgeable, wise, they come. Then Gyani, a wise who knows Krishna is everything, they come to Krishna. This is what I was trying to explain you in the last couple of days, so a couple of time, Then who is the best among them? That's what the question. Gyani, of course, among 4 of them, Gyani is the best person. Why? Because he doesn't know anything. He just want to know about Krishna. Because he loves Krishna fully, and Krishna also loves him back. So now we have this very amazing sloka here. It says, Bahunam janmanam ante jnanavam prapaditi. Vasudem sarvamiti sahamatma sudurlabha. I'll not do the translation. I'll directly go with what we understand here. So such a person is very seldom, very rare. Krishna says that after many births, a truly wise person surrenders me, knowing that I am everything. And such soul is very rare. See, the summary, what I want to make here is that most people are stuck in work and they don't think about God or the soul. Some people are too proud or too busy to care. And some, they come to Krishna when they are in suffer. Like this, when they sankat, they remember Venkat, right? And finally, very rare souls like you and me, they want to know who is Krishna. If Krishna is everything, that is called full surrender. Not surrender, that's surrender. That's why it's called Vasudeva is everything. So a wise person knows that after many lives, one surrenders to Krishna. Now, here's a quick U-turn in our session today. Worship of God, why do people worship so many devatas, so many demigods, Because they all have a material desire, according to their intelligence, they worship those gods. Now I'll explain how does it work. All right. So because every different gods has different benefits, correct? So, but the question is, why Krishna only is the most important, right? Krishna is like a root of the tree. And this devatas, they are like the branches and leaves. Now, if you water just branches and leaves, what happens? Just imagine you take the water and you pour it on the root. What happens? Even the branches, leaves, fruits, they get satisfied, nurtured. That's what it says. Ismin Krishna Jagat Tushtam. So, I have a question for you. Why is Krishna considered the most important among all the devatas? If I ask you this question, what will be your reply? Okay, I'll just put this question on the screen and maybe you can try to tell this. Yeah, there we go. Why is Krishna considered the most important among all gods? Yes, exactly. There we go. That's the right answer because he's the root of the tree. So when you water the root, obviously the whole tree gets nourished. That's a right answer. Thank you so much. Now, we still have 10 minutes to go, so we'll just make it a little faster. Okay. Now, in this verse, it says, Kamaistastir after jnana prapadyanti na devadaha tam tam niyama astadha Prakriti Niyata Savya. So why don't we worship all the 33 crore demigods? We all know that in a cow we have 33 devatas, Is it why it's not possible to worship all of them? Now I have a question for all of you. In your puja room, do you keep sun god photo, or do you keep rain god photo? Do you keep no wind god photo at home? No, right? But when you worship Krishna, that means you're respecting all of them together. That's what I'm trying to say. Right? That's why it says, Antavat tu phalam tesham, tad bhavati alpha madhisham, devan deva yajo yanti, mad bhaktu yanti mam api. So, demigod worship is like a earlier school days, because before coming to Krishna consciousness, before coming to bhakti, we all have done some kind of a seva, some worship of demigods. Like I was a great devotee of Lord Shiva, and before that I was worshipping Ganapati. So it's all like that. So my question for you all that do do these devatas get angry when we worship Krishna? Answer is no. They'll be very happy. Why? Just like a teacher wants to see you happy when you pass from fifth standard to sixth standard, because you're promoting from fifth to sixth. The demigods also want to see you that you go back to God. Makes sense? So now look at this. Who can become a devotee? How to become a, so the question is how to become ready to become a devotee. I've been telling you from last couple of days that if you chant the Lord's name regularly, should be very honest, be humble, and hear Bhagavad Gita. If you have Tulsi plant, so do puja for Tulsi. When you're eating from bhoga, offer Tulsi in that, make it prasadam, right? So by doing all these things, we all can worship Krishna. Now I'll give a very important analogy in what I discussed in the last couple of days. It was a couple of slides. See, let's say I and my friend, okay, so we went for a hotel, and my friend, he's first time he saw on a plate masala dosa. He loves masala dosa. He started eating one by one, one by one, one by. He ate 7 masala dosas, and then he said, "Oh, my stomach is filled. I'm satisfied." Now this person, my friend, he called the waiter. Come, he comes. He's telling, why didn't you give me the 7th dosa now first? Because I would have filled my stomach. Why you gave me that? So the answer is he needed all 6 before to fill his belly, right? Similarly, our past worship helped us to grow, and now we are ready to understand Krishna, right? It's not that the waiter will give 7th dosa. It's not possible. You have to first eat all the 6, then only 7th dosa your stomach will get filled. So like that, we have done a lot of sevas earlier. We have worshipped. Now we got the right source, that is to worship Krishna. Finally, it says, Icha Dvesha Samutena, Vanta Mohena Bharata, Sarabhuthani Samoham, Sargeyana Parampatha. So what does it mean? So it means that somebody envious, they cannot get Krishna, they cannot get bhakti. We have an example. Remember, in the first chapter, we spoke about the mindset of Dhritarashtra and Duryodhana. They were very selfish, very pride, and they were envious of Krishna. Even we can see Vidura, he tried all the best to help Dhritarashtra. Tell him to quit home, but still, he was envious of Krishna. That's why he could see Krishna face to face. Who? This Dhritarashtra. But he couldn't get devotion. Of course, he got liberation, but not devotion. The same thing we can see even from Ramayana also. In Ramayana, you can say Ravana, he was envious. And because of that envious, he want to enjoy Mother Sita, but he considered himself that he is greater than the God. What was the outcome? He destroyed along his kingdom. He received no mercy, only because he was pride and that envy. Same thing in the case of Hiranyakashipu also, right? He declared himself that I am only God. He killed his own son Prahalad. He was a devotee. What was the result? Lord Nrsimhadev killed Hiranyakashipu. Of course, he got liberation, but no devotion. Same thing case of Shishupal, right? So we can see from Mahabharat, he was so envious, continuously he was insulting Krishna, in a Rajasuya sacrifice. What was the result? He was killed by Krishna's Sudarsana Chakra after extending the limits of offenses. Though he got liberation, but it was not out of mercy. Krishna promised Bhishma Dev that he would tolerate the 100 offenses. That's why he got liberation, but no devotion. Finally, we have a Kamsa Mama, that's Krishna's material uncle. He was so envy. He tried to repeatedly kill Krishna when he was a child. Because he had that fear, hatred. What was the outcome? He was killed by Krishna personally in the WWF. I mean to say wrestling, right? So he had Krishna's association, but never received mercy due to envy and fear. So what I mean to say here, because of envy, it blocks receiving mercy of Krishna's mercy. Because only when you are humble, surrendered, in that status, we can receive Krishna. I'll tell you one quick story. There was one of my friend by name Raju. He was a great believer of Lord Shiva. And he prayed, did a lot of tapasya, and he could see Lord Shiva face to face. And he said, please, Lord Shiva, please bless me. Give me some boons. Give me 3 boons. And Lord Shiva blessed. Okay, I'll give you 3 boons, but one condition. What is it? Whatever I give you, they never will get double of that. So this Raju was so happy. I got darshan, I got the boon. Wow, I'm happy, Krishna. I'm happy, Shiva. Because one of the name of Shiva is called Ashutosh. Very soon you get pleased. So now this man, Raju, first time he closed his eyes, he said, Lord, you said you will give me a boon. So please give me a car. He said that and opened his eyes. Front of his house, there's a Ferrari car parked. He was so happy. And then he just saw the neighbor. He has 2 Ferrari cars. Oh my God. And after 6 months passed, this person again prayed to Lord Shiva. He said, you have given me 3 boons. 1 boon, I have another 1 boon. I want a nice house, a palace. He opened his eyes. He was very happy to see all his children's family. They're dressed well and they're in a palace, was very happy. But when he was coming out of his house, he saw there was 2 more palaces next to him. Now, this man became little jealous, He thought, I'm doing the hard work, and he's getting the benefit. So he thought, no, maybe I should do something, because he couldn't tolerate that the neighbor was getting double what he was getting. So this time he said, I have a last boon. So Lord, please, make me blind, make my one eye blind. Then what happened? As per the as per the rule of the game, when he came out, he saw the neighbor, both the eyes were blind. So what do we learn from this? Envy, jealousy can twist our thinking so much that we may harm ourselves just to see others suffer more. But rather, instead, what we should do, we should try to focus on our blessings and let others prosper. This is very important. That's why I say we get, and we forget. No, it should be other way around. We give, and we forgive. So now my question for all of you, what does envy do to a person's chance of receiving Krishna's mercy? I'll put this question on the polling so you can do me a quick review and let me know what is your understanding on this. Okay, let's see what is, yeah. Yes, what does envy do to a person's chance to receiving Krishna's mercy? Yes, it blocks the heart from receiving mercy. Absolutely, congratulations. That's the right answer. I see many of them giving the right answer. Good. Thank you for your rapt attention. I really love that. Okay, stop sharing this. We are late now. So this is the last slide. Okay. So who can worship Krishna then? Can I worship people who have good actions, the past, present, people who are free from sins, not confused? They can worship Krishna, with full heart and faith. So what should be then our final goal? Our final goal that we should somewhat do sadhana nicely and go back to God. See, the devatas, when we worship them, they what blessings they give to us, it's very limited. It's temporary, But when we worship Krishna, he's eternal. We go back to God. We don't have to come back again here. So then how do we qualify? Very free, very easy. We should be free from karma, chant the Krishna's name every day. You know, Hare Krishna Mahamantra. If you have Tulsi at home, just do puja of Tulsi, follow Ekadashi, and take only prasadam. Prasad, matlab Prabhu ka sakshat darshan, prasad. So only take prasadam. When you do all these things, listen to Bhagavad Gita, do good work, serve Krishna. By doing this, Krishna himself is promising. What he's saying, he says, after many births, a wise person surrenders unto me, knowing that I am the cause of all such. Such a great soul is very rare. Today, out of so many people in the world, hardly I see 20, 30 people attending this class. That means you are very rare souls. So you're very greatly fortunate that you're hearing this. So my last question for today is, what can easily make us to worship Krishna? Okay, I'll put this question on the screen and then you can let me know. Yeah, there we go. Who can easily worship Krishna? People who worship only demigods, or people who are free from sin? Oh, people who are from sin and confusion. Yes, that's a right answer. Okay, thank you. Okay, I'll stop sharing. Okay, we almost with this last slide of today's session. So I'm going to do a quick review, what we discussed in the chapter 7. We spoke about how Krishna is revealing the deeper knowledge, of himself as a supreme personality of God. He explains that true wisdom means understanding Krishna, that is the ultimate source of everything, both material and spiritual. Some of the points we can take home today, that Krishna describes himself as the knower of the field, the supreme enjoyer. We spoke about the two types of knowledge, material and spiritual. We also learned about the two types of gaining knowledge. What was that? Aroha Panta and Avaroha Panta. In the two, we spoke about the three things. What is that? Prataksha, Anumana, and Shabda Pramana. And we emphasize on Shabda Pramana because that's coming from authority. Remember, I told about the story about the elephant, the six blind men? Exactly right. Then we spoke about, we discussed about Krishna's external and internal energy, air, water, fire, man, buddhi, ahankar, they all fall into external energy. What about the internal energy? We spoke about the living ourself, the soul, right? Then finally, people come to Krishna in different ways. Somebody is very distressed, somebody, want wealth, somebody wants knowledge, wisdom. So we discuss about that also. And finally, Krishna highlights, in this chapter that the important is devotional service, surrender. Knowing Krishna truly can transform one's life beyond material limitations. That's what I want to say. And tomorrow we're heading chapter 8, attaining the supreme. So here, Krishna will tell what is our next birth, what will happen after this life. Now, everybody wants to know what will I become in the next life. So if you want to know the answer, then please don't miss tomorrow's class. It is very interesting and important topic. So today, in the beginning of Bhakti Yoga, you may still have a question and confusion. That's okay. You will all understand more clearly in chapter 9 and 12, especially chapter 11, when Krishna shows all the gods inside himself. So tomorrow's chapter is very interesting. Chapter 8, attaining the supreme. One question that changes everything. What happens at the time of death? So that's a question. Okay. And now we'll have a quick question answers. I know you're all raising hands. Okay, just give me one moment. I'll make the screen a little bigger and I'll also off this fan. Okay. Just one moment. Yeah, just one more. Yes. Now we'll go one by one. Okay. We have Shreya Shahi. So I'm going to unmute her. Yes, go ahead.
Radha Radha Prabhuji.
Radhe Radhe. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Actually, I wanted to know, like, as I know that wind god and sun god, these are demigod, but this is the first time as I heard that Lord Shiva is also known as demigod. Is it so? Because we thought, according to me, like most of the time, I think that Lord Krishna, Lord Shiva, and then Brahma is Lord Brahma. Again, he is the one who created, like who handles the world. But then I think there are three main God, that is Lord Krishna, Lord Shiva, and Lord Brahma. So give me this.
Yeah, so we say God, G-O-D, God, generator, operator, and destructor. All right. So I'll give you an example
Yes.
before I answer your question. Let's say you want to build a house. All right. Now you build a house. To build a house, you call somebody who can build the house. You know, like you're asking, the Brahma's job is what to create. You know, so you take the call, asking someone to come and construct this house. If they do it, you pay the money. They go off. Who stay in the house? You only stay. Right. After some time, you plan change. I want to make some changes in the house. So you again call the bulldozer, ask him to destroy the house, and make it little different. Now, who is the person who's coming to destroy? The bulldozer. That is the Shiva's job is what? To destruction. But still, after that, who pay the money? You only pay the money. Now, who stays at home? You only stay at home. Now, why I am saying this example? Because the maintainer plays a very vital role. Brahma who creates, and Lord Shiva who destroys, but Vishnu who maintains. Now, why I give this example? Just like from the milk, we get curd, right? From the curd, can we get the milk? We cannot get. So Shiva is an expansion of a Krishna, right? But Shiva is not Krishna. It makes sense for you? That's why we say Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara.
Yes, yes.
And in fact, we say Shiva himself says, Vaishnavam etha Shambhu. Right? So maybe if you can attend the next one or two classes, because many of us have this question: who is great? Is it Lord Shiva? Is it Lord Brahma? Is it Krishna only? Because I'm attending your class talking about Krishna from the day one. So I'll give you a very clear cut-to-cut explanation. Even in Brahma Samhita also it's been mentioned. So you just stay connected for the next 1 or 2 days. You will come to know a clear picture about Lord Shiva, and Lord Shiva is a great Vaishnava. Vaishnava Nametasham. Okay, thank you for bringing up this question, and just stay connected in the next couple of days. Your questions will be answered with a lot of examples. Okay. I think the Srinidhi is like raising her hands. I'll ask her this question. Okay, yes, go ahead.
Uh, Hare Krishna. So,
Haribol.
so I want to just say that I didn't understand this part. So, you said that Pratyaksha Pramana, Anumana Pramana, and Shabda Pramana.
Yes.
So, what exactly is the true meaning of these pramanas?
Okay. So now you're hearing my voice, right?
Yes.
That is Shabda Pramana. Okay. Okay. So there are two things to understand. One is called Aroha Panta and Avaroha Panta. Okay, Aroha and Avaroha. Aroha Panta has two things to know. One is called Pratyaksha Pramana and one is called Anumana Pramana. Now, Pratyaksha means what? Seeing as believing. Correct? Pratyaksha they say na. But how many times you say that seeing and believing is correct? For example, you see the sun and you say the sun is so small. I have a 1 rupee coin. You want to cover the sun with that coin. Does it mean that the coin is bigger than the sun? Because you can see that. You can do that. Okay, I'll give another example. You have a glass of a water. Okay. And it's a transparent glass. You have a spoon. You put the spoon in the water and look at the spoon. The spoon looks a bend. Is it bend? If you
Yes.
remove the spoon, it's straight.
Straight.
You're
Yes.
seeing it. Yeah, you're seeing it, but it looks bent. Okay, I'll give another example. Let's say, this summer occasion, we are going to Disney World, Miami. Okay. Okay. We're going in a bike. And it's so hot. You'd see there is a water. You go very fast, but there's no water. There is a mirage. It looks like water, there is no water. Right?
It's an illusion.
Exactly right. Now, why this happens? Because our senses are imperfect. Okay. So both Pratyaksha Pramana and Anumana Pramana, they are not perfect. Remember, I give you example that people, have that guess. They guess, that okay, I came from monkeys. Some people say people are still in move to what do you say, moon. So we only heard this from schools, teachers, media, but then later on we came to it was a hoax. right? So similarly, you're seeing me, I'm talking to you. Behind me something is happening. I'm guessing, oh, somebody is sleeping or somebody is watching TV. When I go, nothing is happening. I'm only guessing, speculating. That's called anumana pramana. So both the
Anumana.
way, pratyaksha and anumana, they are not correct. But when it comes to Shabda Pramana, because it's coming from the scriptures, authorities, that is perfect. How example, now let's say Srinidhi is sleeping, she's in a deep sleep, and we're trying to wake you up, still you're not waking up because you are like snoring and you're deep sleep. Now imagine somebody says, hey, there's a snake, wake up, snake, snake, there's a bomb, you will wake up, But when they're trying to wake you up by physically, you're not waking up. The Shabda Pramana is very strong. For example, let's say today we have so many of us are sitting attending the Zoom class. So I'm not looking at you, I'm looking at somebody else and I'm calling at your name. You only will come to attention. Why? Because I'm calling your name. The Shabda Pramana is more best way. You remember I gave example of that elephant, the 6 blind people, they have not seen elephant in their life because they are blind from the child,
Blind.
Yeah. So when the Brahmana was walking around, he said how the elephant looks like.
Exactly
Then they,
looks like.
yeah, that's how they come to know. Good question, Srinidhi. I'm very happy you're very attentive in the class. Okay. So any more? Yeah.
So, actually, today is my birthday. So, yeah. So my parents gifted me this Krishna statue.
Wow, Haribo, fantastic. I wish you happy Krishna conscious birthday, Srinidhi. So I pray, Lord Shri Krishna, that He will bless you physically, mentally, emotionally, intellectually, and more blessings come on you so that you be healthy and you do nice bhakti in this life itself and make all of us, to the spiritual world. Okay. So thank you once again and wish you
And
happy birthday.
I have got this also.
What do
Brahma
you want to gift me?
Purana. Brahma Purana.
Okay. Okay, mom is helping you. Brahma Purana Volume 1. See, this is a very good upbringing. You should have taste for such spiritual, books. Very nice. So as I told you from the beginning of the class, this Bhagavad Gita is just not a book. It is a
For
journey of a,
time.
yeah, go ahead.
Journey
It's a
of
journey of
time.
a
Uh,
timeless wisdom,
timeless
Yeah,
wisdom.
not just information, but transformation. So I'm very happy that from the day when I'm seeing you, you're so active attending this class. So I would now unmute everybody. Let's all of us once chant Hare Krishna mantra to Srinil Chakravarti as a sign of appreciation for her birthday. Okay, I'm gonna unmute everyone now. Just give me one moment. Unmute. Okay. So I think everybody are now unmuted. Just one moment. You all can unmute yourself, and let us all once chant Hare Krishna to her, okay? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you so much. Take care. May Krishna bless you and wish you all the best. East or west, let Srinidhi be the best. But don't fail your test. All the best, okay? Take care. Hare
Thank
Krishna,
you.
Hare Bol.
Thank you,
Hare
sir.
Krishna.
Thank you so much.